For us, it's not necessarily about making the most amount of juice we can squeeze out of every deal. For us at this point, it's about dispositioning massive amounts of product.
All right, so in all your markets right now, are you saying you're finding more on-market stuff, or you're grabbing your own leads from off-market sources?
Yeah, to be honest, everything that we do is off-market, right? So we do a lot of direct mail. I think last month we sold send 170,000 postcards in a month. So we do a lot of direct mail, a massive amount of cold calling as well. So homeowners are consistently, we're adding leads to our sales floor in Tampa, Florida from all these different markets. So these calls are coming in to our sales team. We have access to the multiple listing service to make offers right there over the phone.
Wow, that's amazing. I know, as a shameless plug for Realeflow, of course, they are doing the postcards for like 35 cents out of there, and they have the artificial intelligence now, so you can start building those lists. I'm not sure if that's ones you're using or not, but 170,000 postcards, man, you are definitely buying a few mail trucks with that.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. So let's go to conversions real quick.
Okay.
Let's talk about conversions. You said 135, or let's just call it 100,000 postcards, just for round numbers. How many calls are you getting off that? What percentage?
Roughly, it really depends on the postcard, but it can range between 1% to 2%. I would say the average is like 1.3, 1.5.
Out of those, how many deals are you pulling?
This is the way that I break it down. So with direct mail, it's about 1,500. So 1.5 would be about 1,500 calls out of 100,000 postcards. So out of 1,500 calls, our conversion rate of lead to actual contract is roughly around 40 leads to actual contract. And then it's, hey, how many contracts you secured? What is the percentage of contracts that you secure that you actually close on? Because as wholesalers, you guys probably already know that you lock up a deal and then you might not actually sell it, right? There's probate issues, there's title issues, you got it too high. And so from there, we're converting about 40 leads per contract. And then our contract to close ratio is between 50 to 60%. So for every 10 contracts, we'll actually close on 6 of them.
Okay, so let me break this down. Let's go back to your close. Define close. You mean close in you've assigned it, or close that you wrote a check and closed it?
Closed it, they closed, the deal actually closed.
The deal closed. How many are you closing personally versus assigning?
None. We don't close anything. Everything that we do is either a double close or an assignment. So double close or assignment, that is strictly all we do is wholesaling. There's no risk in that. So if the market was to correct, we're under contract on 65 different assets right now in 8 different metropolitan markets. So if the market was to correct and all these values drop 40%, 30%, I'd lose out a lot. And so because we hold the contract, if the market was to correct, we would lose our earnest money deposit, but significantly less risk than actually owning the asset.
All right, so no intention on ever closing.
We do have intention on closing because we do have the funds to close.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
I know.
We do have the funds to close,
gotcha.
so we do have intentions on closing ourselves if we ever need to.
So awesome. You have the intent on closing. That's all that matters. And there's so many people that get caught up in the logistics of they're the naysayers. They want to try to find all the problems in wholesaling, so they never want to get started. And if they are seeing someone successful like yourself, they want to poke holes in their organization to show why it doesn't work. All right, so not a earnings disclaimer here saying that this is what you make on every deal, but What is your target on assignment? If you're trying to assign a contract, what is your target number or percentage?
Yeah, target number around 15,000.
You shoot for $15,000 for assignment.
Correct.
Is there a point that you just drop off and said, it's not worth it, I'm not messing with it? You have a contract, you can only make $1,000 on it or something, do you say forget it?
No, actually, we'd make $2,000 on deals sometimes, $2,000, $3,000. So 100% no. We try to make every single deal work because we want to perform with the sellers and we want to perform with our buyers as well. So it's not necessarily as much as how much we're making, but it's more about making sure we keep a good reputation with sellers and buyers.
And can you keep the deal alive? That's perfect.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, you're dealing in so many multiple markets in different states, different cities. Do you have a preferred title company that you're using with all of them, or do you just have different ones in different cities?
That's a great question. And actually, we build relationships with the top wholesalers in every single market that we're going into. And we ask them, hey, what's your preferred title company? And typically, they'll shoot out the bag exactly who they use, and that's who we build a relationship with.
And now, who are you using to go out and your 10-day inspection? Are you actually sending one of your potential buyers out there to inspect the property and do the pictures for you?
Great question as well, actually. So what we do is once we secure that contract, we then go through, our transaction coordinator goes through her steps. So she contacts the homeowner, builds rapport, sends it to the title company, and then she calls a runner. So we hire a runner in every single one of these markets. That's typically a licensed real estate agent that goes out. We pay them about $50 per picture to go out, go to the pictures, $50, and go take pictures of the property.
$50 per property.
Property, yes, I'm sorry.
I was like,
property, yeah.
I'd be taking a lot. I want to be your picture guy because I'm going to burn up the camera.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so $50 per property, and then when we get buyers to go in there for showings, we pay them another $50 for going out there and facilitating the showing with the buyers and the sellers. So,
wow, perfect.
Yeah.
So this is how you're doing this in a market like that. You're taking a runner to go out and get you the pictures. You're uploading them.
Yeah.
At this point. All right. So now let's get to the part you're getting ready to market your contract.
Correct.
What are you using? I mean, I know Realeflow, shameless plug. Realeflow has the sell point that we load the pictures into. It can send the link out. Mm-hmm. Are you using a particular system or are you using Dropbox or?
Yeah, we use Dropbox. So the runner would go upload all the pictures to Dropbox. As soon as those pictures are uploaded, TC puts together the entire email campaign. So we use ActiveCampaign to send mass emails out. We have like 25,000 buyers, something crazy like that in our system. So it goes out to all our buyers, and then they simply email us back if they're interested. We also have automated dialers, so our sales guys are dialing out their individual buyers on their dialer, reminding them about the deal that we just emailed them.
So launch, you just, like in Realeflow, you're launching this thing out.
Yeah.
Instantly, those numbers are in there too. So you have dialers following saying, hey, just emailed you a deal, take a look at it. Mm-hmm. Wow. So you are definitely on top of it.
Yeah.
Going back here now, you're talking about sending an email. Mm-hmm. Clearly, if you're buying 60 deals in a month at a time, that's going to be a minimum of 2 emails a day going out. Do you find your list is getting beat up?
You know what? No, because we secure great assets. So we do a double check on every single asset that we secure. We always do a double check. So our head of acquisitions that manages the acquisitions department, they approve the deal. And then when it goes to sales, we then reapprove the deal to ensure that it is a actual deal that our buyers will like. And so I don't feel like we're beating up our list because we're providing them consistent value, consistent deal flow. So not at all. I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah.
And then guessing on outbound calls. How many outbound calls are you generating with these auto dialers?
You know, it's an automated dialer. We use a company called ZenCall, which is a triple line dialer. And so, you know, I would have to see, but roughly they get around contacts like voice to voices between 40 to 70 on a daily basis. So pretty good amount. It doesn't necessarily go off dials, but it goes off with contacts. So we're getting around 40 to 70 contacts on a daily basis. What's cool is that we actually hire a whole team of virtual assistants. We have like 10 virtual assistants that are, getting buyers lists consistently, going on the MLS, looking for those LLCs, skip tracing them, and then adding them to our buyers list. So as our guys are calling, immediately new buyers are going to the top of the dialer. And so they're calling new buyers and refreshing the list consistently. So our VA team, they're like our buyer builder team. So they're getting leads. They're getting buyers from Facebook groups. They're getting buyers from the MLS. They're also getting buyers from purchase lists that we buy from Atom Data or List Source, all these other resources, skip tracing these buyers and then adding them to our buyers list. So our buyers list is always growing and our salespeople always have new people to talk to.
Awesome. Now, one of the challenges that I have found in this business is distinguishing a real buyer from a new wholesaler that was just a ballroom graduate. And because everyone wants to buy it, I'm like, all right, are you really going to buy this? Are you really going to close? I have real proof of funds. Don't send me a generated letter. How is your team deciphering who's a real buyer versus just another wholesaler that's just going to take your deal and pimp it out?
You know, that's a great question. You know what? We love working with wholesalers. You know, we love working with wholesalers. So we tell our wholesalers, you know, hey, just letting you know, we work with wholesalers all the time. All of our deals have great spreads in them. So typically wholesalers, you know, I've had a wholesaler make $20,000 on top of the price that we were asking. And so the way that we sell our deals is we have a buy it now price. So we're not like getting all of our investors like, hey, you know, give me your best offer and we'll see what we can do. I feel like we've lost a lot of relationships when we were doing it that way with investors. They hate bidding wars. They do off market and they work with wholesalers for the reason of not doing auctions, right? Not going to bidding wars. And so now we have a price that's called the buy it now price. And it's, hey, if you can make that offer and you can get to the buy it now price, whoever can get that price puts the EMD in first, gets the deal. And so now we've trained our buyers to move quickly, because for us, it's not necessarily about making the most amount of juice we can squeeze out of every deal. For us at this point, it's about dispositioning massive amounts of product, right?
Now, how much earnest money are you taking on these deals to keep people?
Everything is different. So typically, every deal is different, and typically it's actually off of the assignment fee. So if we're making a $50,000 fee, we might, put $10,000 in earnest money, even though the house is only $100,000. So every deal is different. We've negotiated lower on larger properties, and typically if it's a larger property, higher earnest money. But I think I got to talk to my sales guy, but I think it's $5,000 for every $100,000 is like kind of our standard rule of thumb.
How much time do you give them after they give you a contract? Are you giving them a long inspection period?
No, our buyers don't get any inspection period. So we get all of our buyers in the property, and no, we never sign an assignment with an inspection period with the buyer. Perfect. So because then we're locking up a deal with a buyer that can back out last minute, and then we're not performing with the seller. And that's our main goal, is we want to perform with our seller, and that's our responsibility, whether it's us buying it or the other buyer buying it.
Are you going directly to your new buyer right now and letting them know this is an assignment and this is how much your assignment fee is? If you're buying a house for $50,000, you sell it to them for $65,000, you're saying, hey, you're paying $65,000, and then send the assignment, you're saying, I have a contract for $50,000, you're going to give me a $15,000 assignment.
That's a great question as well. So what we actually do is we'll send them the purchase agreement, and we'll black out the purchase price that we have with the seller. So they can see all the terms, but the only term they can't see is how much we have the property under contract with. And so it'll be a 4-page document. Our purchase agreement is simple. It's 2 pages. We like to keep a simple purchase agreement with the sellers because we lock up deals over the phone. We send them a DocuSign. We want to make that contract as simple and easy to read and comprehensible as possible for the seller. And so we send them that purchase agreement and then the assignment agreement to the buyer. The purchase agreement has a blacked out, no purchase price in there. So all they see is the gross price that they're buying the asset for. So it'll say $100,000, and we could have got the deal for $50,000, $80,000, it doesn't matter.
So you do not spell out an assignment fee amount in the assignment. You just say, this is the gross price you're paying, and the difference between the contract and this is the assignment fee.
Correct, exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's great stuff.
Thank you.
That's really great stuff.